that's not really what a friend should do. A friend should treat you the same when it's just you two and when you're in a group of people. And so that's when I started to realize it, and I started to feel bad for them, the fact that they had to change who they were just to impress other people, and you shouldn't have to do that at all. So, just being able to deal with those coping strategies. And then my other mentors, even though I didn't talk to them like Ian said, where I would bring my friends in and ask them to help me, they were still my mentors though, because they were showing me how your friends should treat each other. And that kept me going because I knew what my old friends were doing was completely wrong. Right. Right, and that definitely does happen, and sometimes the reason people are bullies goes deeper than you know. They could have something going on at home or something that they're dealing with, but you can't always change that. You can try to be here for them if you know what they're going through, but if it's someone you don't really know, you're just going to have to try to deal with that. And I think that's a great point though, because you're right, some people get bullied and then they become bullies. So, something to think about, but especially if you're getting bullied, that's another big thing, because you don't like how you're being treated, so don't try to send those feelings towards someone else either, because you already know what it feels like. Just stop, just because I chose to ignore them. Not gonna lie, I did try to ignore them, but the feelings, it still hurts. No one likes to be called names, but I just knew that I had to tell myself deep down that just because you're saying that doesn't mean it's true. You have to believe in yourself. And I knew that what they were doing was wrong. The fact that I knew that really helped me push through. I hung out with my friends. And I just started to realize that sometimes you can't change who someone is. They're just going to be mean to you sometimes. And if you can change them and make them a better person, that's great. But if you can't, you just can't. I still meet people sometimes today where they're not nice to me. And I just have to know that they're not people that I want to be around and associate myself with. Because I ignored them, that they all left me alone, I would still go through the halls in school sometimes and be called names by those people. But when you really focus on things mentally, you can really tell yourself and believe in yourself that what they're saying doesn't bother you, because that's not a reflection of yourself. You are who you are, and just because that's their opinion or something that they're going to say, if it's not something nice, no reason for you to have to listen to it. I got bullied, I would joke around with my friends and maybe say something that I was kidding when I said it was me. Like, let's say I was playing baseball and a friend struck out, and I said he was such a bad hitter. Well, putting myself in the shoes of being bullied by people, I didn't make those comments anymore. I thought twice before I said it, because no one's going up to bat and they want to strike out. Everyone wants to hit the ball. So, really started the second, if you want to say, I just started to think twice about what I said before I went back out there and said things. So it's really something to think about. Before you try to say something to someone, just sit there for a second and think, would I want to make that comment? Would I want someone to make that comment to me? Just something to think about, especially during this camp when we're doing all the different skills and stuff. Before if I make a comment to somebody, to be like, well, that would hurt my feelings. How else can I say it? So let's say I go up and I strike out. How about someone just comes up and says, hey, you'll get up next time, Jeff, don't worry about it. About what was going on, so then when they were with me, they would have known what I was struggling with, and I think that they could have helped me stand up against the bullies and say things to them.
Or you could have walked down the hall with them, and when they heard them making fun of you, they could have told them
right, yeah, because I would have shared, so they would have known what I was dealing with, and they could have better just pick up for me. But I think that if you pull that person aside and tell them one-on-one, not in front of a group of people, how much they're affecting you, I think that a lot more bullies would be listening to that, because, like we said, a lot of people are different when it's just you two, and it's when they're around a ton of other people. So that's something else I think could have helped. I also think that I should have talked to my parents. As I got through high school, I started sharing things with my parents, and they were really there for me. I told them the names that I was being called, and your parents are always there for you. They want you to have fun whatever you're doing. And they just told me to believe in myself, to ignore them. They told me just because you're saying those things doesn't mean that they're true. And it really meant a lot to me to know that I had my parents there for me. I was close with, where I think I could have shared with them and they could have helped me. So I know sometimes, and I'm speaking from experience because I know how hard it is to talk about some of those things, and you feel embarrassed to say it maybe, because no one likes to admit that they're being called names or that they're being bullied at all. I didn't, and that made it even harder for me not admitting it, just because it was me against everybody else. and I think that I could have solved the problem a lot quicker if I shared my feelings with people, because if someone's your friend, or your parents, or your teachers, or someone loves you, you don't have to be embarrassed about them, because they're going to want to do whatever they can to help you out. And I didn't realize that at first. And after I started sharing things with them, I did start to realize this. So if you're fighting anything, if you're going to take anything out of this camp, just realize that you can talk to people. People are there for you. You're not alone with anything.